time now for another CNBC TV18 exclusive. The Reserve Bank of India has put its foot down on the issue of big dividend payments to the government. Now, the central bank, which released its annual report recently, highlighted that it was adopting a new surplus distribution policy. It stated that since continuous transfers and substantial transfers weaken the RBI's balance sheet, going forward, RBI would have to consider its own provisioning requirement before transferring the annual surplus to the government. Now, the government, however, is not on board, and Sapna, who's been speaking to officials, from the ministry, joins us now. Sapna, take us through what you've picked up, what the government has to say on this new policy of RBI.
Well, very quickly, this is the first time that the Reserve Bank of India on record has stated the fact that it has adopted the new, surplus distribution policy. It's called the staggered surplus distribution policy, which basically indicates that possibly large transfers, at least to the government account, will not be possible. Some of the reasons are very well known. First, of course, its own provisioning requirements, because otherwise that will weaken the balance sheet of the central bank. And second, of course, even in terms of the unrealized valuation gains, they are not meant for distribution. Now, this is a very loud and clear message to the government. Government, of course, at its end, since over a year now, they haven't been in discussion on this new economic capital framework with the Reserve Bank of India. In fact, just last month, a meeting had been held between both the DGs and top finance ministry officials. Very clearly, this is something that the government is not really on board. We have been speaking on this issue with the DA Secretary, Mr. Subhash Chandra Garg, and he has said the matter has not really reached a finality. It's still under discussion, and there are differences of opinion, or the views are very different in terms of, what should be the quantum of money that is to be transferred. So as of now, it's still under discussion. Government not really going with the Reserve Bank of India's stated very clear policy in the annual report. We have to wait and watch and see how this really pans out. And hence, this is one of the biggest fallouts of, this issue is the fact that, every time the interim dividend cycle probably has started, at least in the short term. So no resolution as of now, but for the first time, RBI has made its position very, very clear in the public domain.